Hey friends, it's Connie. Let's talk about RV plants. I'll be showing what plants I have and talking about their general care. I have a Monstera adansonii that is currently in leca, and it's been doing well so far for the past few months. I had it in dirt last year, but decided to give leca a try after having to clean up dirt spills every road trip. Here are a few water roots developing in the leca. Seeing that we love eating fresh herbs and we're always buying them from the store, I decided to try propagating. I experimented with propagating green onions in soil and water with leca, and the cuttings seem to grow a lot quicker in water. If you want to try this, all you have to do is cut about 2 to 3 inches from the bottom and place them in water, leaving the top exposed. Right before I finished editing this video, I thought I'd tried propagating basil and mint as well, so I'm not quite sure yet how they'll do. The mint seems to be promising, since it's already putting out roots only after a few days, and the basil isn't showing any signs of rotting, so we'll see how it goes. Crossing my fingers they'll survive, because these herbs smell so good. When I saw this Peperomia frost in the store, I knew I had to get it. It's still putting out a whole lot of new growth, and it's always happy, never drooping. I love the shimmer of the leaves as well. Isn't it pretty? This philodendron has been with me since my last trip, and you can tell it's been through a lot. We're often moving, living life on the road, and these plants often get pinched or exposed to different elements. However, this plant has been a trooper and grows extremely quickly, always pushing out new growth. To be honest, I don't use leca the way it's intended to be used for semi-hydroponics, and instead only place my plants in a cache pot when they're looking extremely thirsty. It seems to be working so far though. These are my mixed propagations. I have Monstera adansonii, Cebu blue, and golden pothos. I'm not sure what I'll be doing with them, but this is where my cuttings go when my plants get a haircut. The peace lily is the most dramatic and needy of all the RV plants that I have. The leaf tips often get sunburnt, and that's because I'm a bad plant mom, but as long as it's alive, that's good enough for me. It needs to be watered a lot more often than the other plants, and it lets me know when that is by drooping and looking really sad. But despite all the stress that we put each other through, she still puts out new, beautiful leaves. I was so excited when I found this plant in the summer because I had never seen one in person before. It's as easy as any pothos or philodendron to take care of. I would love to one day let it trail, but for transportation purposes, it's constantly getting haircuts. And if any of you know why the leaves get these yellow spots on them, let me know. I'm pretty sure it's root bound, and maybe that's why. I plan on transferring it out of its nursery pot, but for now, it's still putting out new growth, so I'm not going to touch it. My favorite leaf here has a splash of variegation on it, and here you can see the shiny sheen that the Cebu blue is known for. Last but not least is, of course, a golden pothos. This one never moves out of its corner and is secured to the RV with an S-hook. I made a macrame hanger with an O-ring, and it has a water tray at the bottom to catch any excess water, which I actually just let stay in the tray. There's also a carabiner attached to the bottom of the macrame too, so that the plant isn't swinging during our driving. I learned the hard way. There was always dirt everywhere. As far as care, these plants don't get constant sunshine as it's always changing depending on the orientation of the RV. Otherwise, I'll open windows to give the plants some sun. I don't often give the plants a full watering because we're always conserving water in the RV, but instead I give them just enough to keep them happy. They get filtered drinking water from the store, or sometimes I'll collect rainwater. The RV gets extremely dusty, so that means lots of dust on the plants. I started recently using this leaf shine to give the plants a little makeover. And you just need a few sprays and a paper towel, and that's it. Look at how shiny this leaf was afterwards. Once in a while, I'll spray a few plants with a water bottle if the air is feeling dry. It keeps the humidity up in the RV for our sakes as well. Dry throats in the middle of the night isn't fun. Then there's securing the plants while driving. My method is pretty silly, but it works. This is the same corner where the golden pothos is. There's a dog bed and a blanket, so I simply squish the plants together and tuck them in the blanket. The Monstera Adansonii gets a ziplock around the pot too to keep the leca from spilling out, but the other plants don't seem to need it, and that's it. This has been working for me, and I've never had a plant fall off of the bench yet, even after driving on rough backcountry roads. So that's pretty much all the information I have as far as RV plants. If you're thinking about adding plants to your RV, I'd recommend plants that can tolerate huge changes in environment, such as temperature, lighting, humidity, and watering, so make sure you do your research. I'm sure you noticed that I don't have any succulents or cacti, and that is because I struggle with keeping them alive, since I either care too much or too little. But for someone else, they are great options. Let me know in the comments what other plants you think would make great additions in an RV. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.